now that we know how to scale, how do we apply that to our little oval tunda area here? Well, if we scale a circle, I'm going to draw a circle out here. If we scale a circle in the opposite direction from its side, it starts to become an oval shape, and we actually get an ellipse out of that. So we can use that to our advantage. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to generate this shape here, and then I'm going to start working off of that. So we're going to do that in this video. So let's start by finding the outsides of our little shape here, so we know exactly where that circle needs to be. So let's start by using a guide here. So I'm going to go to my measuring tape. And I'm going to click from one point. I'm just going to get nice and close and see that I get to that secondary point. Then I'm going to click again to that point there. Now what I really need to do is kind of find the center of this. So if I click from this edge here to this point here, and from this point to this point, I've now created 4 points upon which I can create a center set of guides. The first thing I have to do is I have to click on these walls and hide them, and click on these walls and hide those. And I've got a lot of black going on here that's making it a little difficult to see. So I'm going to select the shaded option so I can see exactly what my guides look like. Now I have the ability to go from this point to this point, and from this point to this point, and get myself a center. So next step is to draw my circle. I'm going to keep this at 24 because I know a few steps away what we're going to be doing is we're going to be using the circle as a reference point. So I don't want there to be a lot of crazy faceted lines from which we have to deal with. So I'm just going to use just a regular circle with 24 sides. Click from that center point and click to that edge. The reason I click to that edge is because I remember that that's the outer boundary of my oval tunda shape. Let's bring that shape back. I'm going to go ahead and go back to my shaded with textures option. So I'm not going to group this just yet because as I'm stretching this shape, I want to see the shape below. And you'll notice that if I group this by hitting G and then double click to open, I no longer can see that shape. I can see my guides, so I technically don't have to do what I'm about to do, but I want to be able to see it as I'm going because I want you to see it happen as well. So I'm just going to right click on this now that I've grouped it and explode it. So this is just an exploded shape sitting on top of a closed group. And the reason you're getting that flickering, again, we've talked once before about this, is that you have a closed group with another shape or another face sitting right on top of it, so they're kind of competing for your view. So I'm going to select this whole thing by double clicking on it, and I'm going to go to my scale tool, and I'm just going to click from this point and drag it until I get to that point there, and I'm going to do the same thing from this point to that point. And as you can see, I've now created a shape that fits, I would say, more or less along this inner oval shape. And this is our inner oval shape that's going to give us not only our stairs, but also our wall under those stairs and these two walls that are curved that would be a lot harder to get if we didn't have this shape. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to group this, and I'm going to double click on this and pull it up in space, and I'm just going to leave it here in the center like that and close the group. So that's all for this video. We're going to be using this shape to create all of these other shapes, and we're going to get into another tool or another function right after this video that will show you kind of how we're going to start creating this and using a negative shape to create the positive shapes around it.